Okay, so I last talked about um, the so-called adaptation of the Watch, the City Watch series by Terry Pratchett. Now on to what is technically a great Terry Pratchett adaptation. I was very careful to say there are no good Discworld adaptations,
Oh
the
yes.
Discworld series, because there is one thing technically based off of a work by Terry Pratchett that is great. It came out in 2019, I think. Well, there's a book. I've talked about it on the show before, but there's a book by the authors Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. They co-wrote this book together, called Good Omens, which is about the apocalypse and like an angel and a demon sort of needing to team up. And I believe uh, yeah, they each wrote like 50 or so percent of the book and like passed it back and forth, and it was this fun like friend project, and it's a really beloved book. I think released in the 90s. And it's funny because at the time, Terry Pratchett was like the biggest author in Britain and Neil Gaiman was just starting out. But now Neil Gaiman is so famous as an author that people think of that as a Neil Gaiman work, and Terry Pratchett is the one that people don't really know about. But they equally wrote this. So there's an Amazon Prime series that I can't remember how much I talked about on the show, but I loved it. Uh, and it covered the book, the course of the book. It's a fairly faithful adaptation, with David Tennant as Crowley, a devil, and Michael Sheen as Aziraphale, the angel. And it's them trying to stop the apocalypse. It's the apocalypse happening. It's a great it's a great series and hilarious, and with a just really interesting plot. It was so well done, and it was something that they covered the book and the season. It just comes across as a mini series. They covered the book, um, so it was like, oh, cool, that was a good mini series of that book. Now there's just an announcement. There's going to be a season 2 of Good Omens. So it's like, huh? Well, but they did the whole plot of the book. So I mean, it interestingly enough, this world kind of created by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett of Good Omens is coming back for a season 2, going beyond where the book went. Uh, so we're apparently going to see Crowley and Aziraphale, who are coming back as their characters, uh, onto some new adventure in the Good Omens universe, which we'll see where that even goes. Um, I mean, personally, like the great chemistry that was kind of harnessed between uh, David Tennant as Crowley and Michael Sheen as Aziraphale in season 1, like I would maybe normally be skeptical of like going beyond the book or like forcing a second season out of something just because it was popular. Like there's cynical ways to look at it, but I actually really think this is probably going to work because they really did good writing, and the chemistry between those two, as we've got up here, is great. Um, and I think there's just more to explore. And like, I don't know what I mean. Neil Gaiman is still alive, and he work. I don't know how much he does for the show, but I know he's involved in some way. Uh, I think expanding on Good Omens beyond what the book did is a great idea. So I'm actually really excited for season 2, and where every single Terry Pratchett adaptation is a disappointment. Uh, at least this great little work of co-writing between these two great British authors does have a really good adaptation, and it's actually getting a season 2. So it turns out there's another show I love that is ongoing. I have like 2 shows now that are ongoing shows I like. The other one is What We Do in the Shadows, season 3 coming out later this year. So something I thought was just going to be a mini series is just announced coming back for season 2.